Hey everybody, and here I am trying to adjust it so that you don't see the doggone boxes in the corner. Yeah, we still haven't completely unpacked. We still have, where do you want me to hold this thing over here? There's more boxes. We still have boxes and bins and anything.
Just set it down, it's fine.
Can you set it down? That's going to be too low. No, that's too low. It's just going to be over here, that's all. But anyway, we haven't been on for a while. And if you're watching from the Lover and Giver page, please let us know that you're here. But yeah, we haven't been on for a little while. So, you want to tell them why? No. We've just been a little quiet. You know, when we have our little personal things to deal with. Who's laughing at us already? We have our personal things to deal with. I just don't like to get on there. I just don't. I'm like, I love you guys, but I got some personal things to deal with, and then when they get a little bit better, then I'll come back and
Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis. And I'll come back and say something. But you know, when I'm in the midst of whatever issues we have going on here, then hey yo, what is that?
Kurt Gowdy.
Why not? You tell them why not.
Why not? What?
Why weren't we on?
Who asked why not? Oh, Kurt. Yeah, we was going through our little issues of
read the title again.
Getting to know each other, you know.
Yeah, getting to know each other.
Through hard times, you know. I think the Lord put us in a certain position to where we were able to spend a lot of time with each other. And I said Kurt got it, but we you know, we're able to spend a lot of time with each other. And the more time that we spent with each other, the more we got to understand each other's ways, or the more we got familiar with who we were. What did he say?
He knows you very well. He says you've been a bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he even was going to post it. He said he was in a doghouse for a minute.
Yeah, I was in the doghouse last night.
And the doghouse was about to be repossessed.
But I recovered, though. I recovered. You see me? You see me now, don't y'all? I'm good.
You know what? You're just as cuckoo as a bird.
But nah, we, you know, God allowed us to be in a position, you know, to where, you know, we basically were able to spend a lot of time with each other and be occupied with, you know, each other and learn each other's ways.
Ways. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
the ways of mankind. Anyway,
so, you know, as we
figured we'd come on and talk about it.
Before, you know, I was working and, you know, I'd come home and go to bed. And,
think about it. 6 months ago, we were in two different places.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that was.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying when we moved
first
in together.
Yeah, first got married.
Yeah, we were occupied, you know, always into something, always
he was working,
doing things.
Or he was tired,
and on
or we
the weekends, yeah. And on the weekends, we had so much going on with events.
Right, networking.
And we never really got to spend a lot of time with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So for the last 2 weeks, we've been able to spend a lot of time with each other and get very familiar with each other and learn our characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so as we learned each other's characteristics, you know, as Kurt knows, I could be a knucklehead sometimes and stubborn, and I'm very, very spoiled. Kurt is too, though. Ooh. Kurt's very spoiled, so he knows he's spoiled too.
And he says, you know, we need to love one another. Kurt, there's some days when people are not lovable. They're just not. Put your tongue back in your mouth. They're not lovable.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like, okay, I can deal with you for a minute, but you're heading into territory that I don't even want to deal with you. Where'd you go? You disappeared? I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, you're all off the camera over here. But, so...
Well, Kurt always said that he wanted to watch us do a love and a giver. He always talk about that.
What I'm saying is that, yes, we love each other, But there are days that people aren't very lovable. There are days when, if they're facing a personal trial, and, I think one things I want to talk about is how helpless your partner feels when you're facing a personal trial and they just can't get rid of it. It's just not going to go away like that. It's a very helpless feeling because you love this person, you just want to go poof, magic, and it's gone. Or if they're becoming down about something, you just want to be like, hey, let me do something and your mood will be better. And that just doesn't always happen. So what happens when that can go on for a day, a week, and you're like, whoa, the whole, as my son put it, he said the whole atmosphere in the house changed. And it was very, very hard. And, we're godly people, we're praying. And he fasted. He fasted nearly 2 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. 2 weeks. But it was like things were just deteriorating as far as his mood, wanting an answer from God, not getting it, me trying to be patient and stay out of the way. And so, we came on here to talk about this because most about what we do with Lover and Giver is talk about real situations that happen in people's marriages or relationship. And it wasn't easy. It was like, okay, can you just snap out of that? Because, the house still needs this and this still needs to happen. And so it was like, you saw somebody that you care about go through something. And like I said, it wasn't just something that they could just snap out of and that you could just do something cute and that would alleviate the whole thing. So it's like, what do you do, during those times? How do you keep on going? And do you want to talk about that? I mean, because I have my answer for what I do. But
what do we do to keep on going?
Mm-hmm.
We just keep going.
Yeah, you keep on going.
You gotta keep going.
One of the things I tell myself, this is what I tell myself.
She gets mad because when I get mad or something like that, in order to get her attention, in order to get her stemmed and riled up, I say, I'm going to my mama's house.
No, you didn't even say that. You just was difficult. Mad. He was just being difficult.
She get mad if I say,
if I said,
I'm going to my mama's
I'm going to go left, he would be like, no, can't go left. You need to go right. That's what the problem is with you, because you always want to go left. And it was silly stuff like that. I mean, you look back now at it, and it's absolutely silly. But at the time, I was like, well, what in the world is wrong with you? If I feel like going left for a second, if I want to go lay down on the couch for 20 minutes, it should not be the end of the world. It should not cause, issues. But that's the kind of stuff when somebody is going through, they don't literally have the mindset to sometimes be rational. They just don't. And what do you do? So I was getting to what I do. If you want to tell them more about some of the crazy things you said and I said back in the past 2 weeks.
You'll sit there and you'll be like, you'll go downstairs and you'll lay up on the couch when I want you to lay with me like you're laying right now. And you know why? You shouldn't have never done it. Just like I said, you shouldn't have never. You shouldn't have never done it. No, you shouldn't.
Listen, I'm the kind of person, I get up in the morning, I don't go back to that bed till I'm about to fall into it. I'm that kind of person because, if you don't already know, I've been through back surgery. I've laid in bed longer probably than most people have in their whole entire life. And the last thing I want to do is lay in a bed. I don't want to look at that popcorn ceiling. I want to get up. And so laying in the bed is just not exciting for me. I'm like, okay, it's morning time. Let's go.
You made it exciting for me.
Okay, I can't help that.
That's my point.
But you just can't have that
24/7.
You cannot have it 24/7.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you made it very exciting.
And then on top of that, he was in such a mood that who the heck wanted to be down there in the bed with him anyway? I mean, I'm just being real. I mean, I was like, oh, here you go, looking like a cross between Eeyore and Snuffleupagus. I was like, I'm not in the mood to be anywhere near somebody like that. just misery loves company. I was like, okay, I'll come back. But I want to tell you, I want to get to what I do, because sometimes we need real practical things. This is what I do when you see somebody you love, you want to help them, but you just can't. I mean, first of all, there's no S on your chest. You are not superhuman. You cannot make things happen faster. You are not God. And that's what I tell myself. That's the first thing I tell myself. I'm not God. I'm not God. And there are certain things that only God can solve. And so one, that takes the pressure off of me to try to fix it or be perfect or be everything he needs. Humans, let's get it straight through our heads. You will marry the person you love. You will be in love with that person. But you cannot solve everything that person is going through. Okay, I'm saying that. You cannot. And when you get good in your head that there are certain things that only God can solve, then your attitude and your focus changes. It isn't like, okay, why isn't he getting better? Why now it's like, God, I'm petitioning you because he's still going through, and this is all I know what to do. At the end of the day is pray, get on my knees, continue to have faith. Like you say, you just keep going. But you have to go with the focus of that it's not your responsibility to solve everything. It's not. There's no human possible. I think there's a lot of times why we're disappointed in marriages or disappointed in relationships is because we think that person is literally supposed to do everything for us. I believe there's some things that only God can do in your mind, in your life. Take, for example, loneliness. This person is not here, as he found out, to be everything to you when you're feeling lonely or feeling like you want someone to be there next to you all the time. No one can be there next to you all the time. People got to go to the bathroom, okay? People got to eat.
But you got to realize when they go to the bathroom, after they go to the bathroom, they come right back. See, when you go to the bathroom no more than 5 or 10 minutes unless you're trying to hide
okay, but
job,
you know what? If
like I used to do.
That's if you hide another job,
if you hide another job.
But I'm saying that if a person has to go downstairs and go shopping, or the person has to make dinner, or the person is washing clothes, they may not come back right then and there. So it's like, that's something, when you feel that overwhelming need, that's something that God can fill, not the person.
Yeah, but at least you know that person, when they're going downstairs in the kitchen, you smell the aroma of the food. You smell the food.
You know what?
So
He's just as
you're
cuckoo as a
anticipating
a meal.
Smell.
Yes, I know. You're just anticipating a meal.
The meal. Because you're smelling it, so you're like in 15,
well, guess
30
what?
minutes
For
or
2 weeks, he didn't even eat. So there was no meal to smell.
The meal to be born.
He just didn't even eat. It was nothing but water and coffee, and I think that was about it. And I was like, okay, now you're starving yourself. You don't look good. You're weak. Your voice changed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, now I'm worried that he's sick. I'm like, Heavenly Father, we ain't even made 6 months. What's going on here? But again, I ended up thinking that, this is something that you have to take to God. The other person has to be has a very strong relationship with God. Because as you're going through, what am I doing? Where's my mindset? Do I get depressed too? Do I get angry too? Which I did, because I'm human. I did. I got very angry at some things that was said, and
you were
some.
Patient though.
You call that patience?
Until last night.
You know what? He gonna get kissed for that because I didn't consider myself
No, I'm
patient.
talking about. Go ahead.
Jeez. Anyway,
I'm talking about you got patient.
You know what? You didn't need to see that.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. But I'm just
singles. You need to see it. But through the patience.
But anyway, he says he thought I was patient. Yeah, I didn't feel patient.
No, I'm not talking about last night now. I'm not talking about through the wall. No, we ain't married. We just right here.
You know what?
After 4 months, we ain't married. We don't put it all on social media and
Jesus.
everything. We ain't married. No.
Well, maybe they didn't see it. Who knows? You know.
Well,
people-
they saw it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
remember.
that's my first cousin's daughter, Barbara, and Mary, and that's Annie Mae, granddaughter right there.
Just moved on.
You know Annie Mae?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But,
daddy's sister.
Yeah, I'm glad you thought that I was patient. Because I literally, my brother one time gave me this analogy, and he said, I have this cup of patience, and when it gets empty, I go back to God and ask him to fill it up again. And I sure had to do it these last 2 weeks. I was like, oh, fill it back up, because this cup is not only dry and empty, it's about to crack from the need for patience, because I just didn't know what to do for him. I didn't know how to make him feel better. I didn't know how to get rid of the problem. It was starting to get on my nerves that the problem was still there. She's just wondering. She said, I haven't seen y'all in a while. Oh, okay.
You know why?
Oh,
You know why?
You-
Because no, she don't know though. Because certain family members, are acting very funny.
hey, Shay.
The family is very funny towards me for some reason, but you ain't got nothing to do with that though.
Thank you,
But
Jesus.
no, she
But,
ain't got nothing to do with
So,
that. Shit.
I'm glad that he thought I was patient. I didn't feel patient. I felt stressed. I felt like, oh, do I feel like coming home? I haven't been married for 6 months, and what's happening here? But, he hit a bump in his personal things, and, we talked about this briefly on our last Love and Giver.
Mhm.
Like, how do you stand in the gap when your partner's going through something? Okay.
Love you too.
Love you too. How do you stand in the gap? What do you do?
I'll see you on my birthday. My
That's
birthday
right. His
party
birthday's
is August
coming up.
27th.
We have to stop for this commercial interruption.
Get the van ready, get the family down. Even the family that don't want to see me, don't want to be bothered with me.
Oh,
whatever,
don't
bring
go
them
there.
down.
Just
And don't get emotional. Okay,
yeah, because your arm is in the way of the other one.
Cassandra,
But
I want to see you on my
okay,
birthday.
now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
I'm just messing, cuz.
He is. But literally, how do you stand in the gap when a person is going through? How do you maintain your focus? And what I said earlier, Shay, if you weren't in, I was saying that we have to remember that we cannot solve all the problems for our spouse. It is hard because we want to. It's hard because we want to be there so badly. We want to see that other half of us happy. And it's hard to come in and see them not happy. It's hard to come and see them going through. But this is where you realize you can't solve everything. It is not your responsibility to solve everything. It is your
You
responsibility.
solved it today.
But you know what? It had
You
nothing to
solved it
do.
a couple of hours ago.
Oh hush! It had nothing to do with that. It has to do with taking those things to the Lord, and if anything, encouraging your spouse to remember that even though it seems as if God is slow, He's not. If it seems that He's taking you through something you really don't want to go through, what is He trying to show you while you go through that?
But I know what he showed me. He was like, just be patient. And I was patient. I was frustrated, but I was patient at the same time. And just out of nowhere, it was like, kaboom. He was like, son, I told you I got you. I said, oh, yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do. And that's why we on the Love and the Giver.
You know
right now.
what? You're just so stupid. Oh my God.
Woo!
Okay, stop it. The neighbors, they're going to be like, there they go again.
Oh,
There they go
they
again.
heard us earlier. They ain't going to hear us now.
I don't know what that has to do with the other. Anyway,
Go ahead.
what we're saying is, this is our first getting to know you through a hard time. Through something that was very difficult. If you don't already know, can we talk about job loss?
Talk about what?
That you lost your job.
You didn't talk about anything you want
I
to
just,
know.
I don't always know if you want to put, he lost his job, and so we have to kind of evaluate the whole budget. We've only been in here 90 days, so it's like, okay, this is new. The place that we're in, they're doing inspections, and so we have to have inspections of the place, and I'm like, okay, stress.
Inspections in the hood.
Hood. but they're determined. So I mean, it was just all of these little things. Plus, how many events do we have going on that we are always determined that regardless of what happens to us, we do not cancel an event. We keep it going. We were this place last year, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And we made the decision to never cancel an event, to go on and
We
care
were
about.
in a better place than no, we weren't.
No, we weren't. We were at 360 with the first
What?
CLE where
Yeah,
somebody
but-
wanted their money back and people were walking out, and I was like, in the
but
mighty
no,
name
but
of Jesus.
I'm just saying, as far as we were, because I was jobless.
You're
But
jobless.
I had money, and not only that, I believe I had money at that time.
I don't know whether you did or not, but I do know this time last year, August, was a very stressful time. Also because your father was very, very ill. And, but I'm talking as far as our events were concerned. That was when we really, really decided we would never cancel an event.
Yeah, we wouldn't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
I remember it was August.
we would.
Because I wanted to
in my
cancel
40s.
the event because of his father being very, very ill, near death at that point, literally passing, I think it was 5 days before the event.
He passed on that event.
He didn't
He passed before that event.
He had passed before the event. That's what I
Yeah.
meant.
Mhm.
5 days before the event. Let me sit up again. Anyway,
It was 5 days before
it was
that
about
event?
5 days, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to get my brain straight on it. But anyway, we made that decision. We would never cancel an event, and regardless of what happened. And so we've stuck to that. A year later, we've stuck to that. And so moving into a new place, new family, me going from 2 to 5 and trying to make that happen, then with the loss of the job. And also, I mean, let's talk about it. You're at the point where you want to do your dream. You don't want to go out there and work for anybody else anymore. And that, I mean, a lot of people go through that.
Not no $9.50 an hour.
Oh, Jesus, $10
$10
out in
an
Concord. Come
hour.
on out to Concord for $9.50. So, I mean, you've been doing something a certain way for so long. You're like, enough of that. There's no growth. There's no, you tried to go up and it didn't last, the contract position. So, it was like he's having those kind of thoughts as well. Like, hey, I'm on the brink of one dream, goal, real goal, but I still have to go out here and play this game of working for other people. And this in a field where there really isn't any growth potential.
Yeah, because you gotta look at it when you see the same people every day, and they see the same people every day, and the same people doing the same thing every day. And it seemed like nobody got no desire. Like I went to the interview today, right? I went to the little tour, and one dude, the older dude, he was like, "Let me tell you, she said $9.50. He was like, $9.50 an hour. I do forklifts. He was like, that's way under my budget. He was like, I'm not able to do that. I don't have to work for no $9.50 an hour. He said that's just a waste of time for me coming away from Davidson.
Oh.
And he was like, she was like, okay, well, do you want to go through the tour? He was like, yeah, I'll go through the tour. I ain't got nothing else to do. I might as well go through the tour and walk around. So he walked around, and then he sat down. He was like, I'm ready to go to the I need to go to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom, and next thing you know, he never came back. So she came in, started running her mouth and talking. And she got the leads in there in order to talk to us. Because, most of these jobs think people are very desperate in order to work. But these jobs are more desperate because people are getting aware that they can go off on their own and make just as much more money as they do, at these jobs. And people are getting aware of that. So, she was like, blah, 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 listening to all of this. They were trying to sell the job. And in so many words, they were talking about they need people, so they're going to try to hire you as much as possible. So I gave the dude a prayer card, right? I gave the dude a card. So then he walked out. He was like, oh, okay, yeah. He looked at it. She was like, what is that? And he was like, prayer card. And she's so professional, so bougie. I was trying to look at her fingers to see whether she was married. And she wasn't married at all, and I see why. But anyway, she was just like, man, let me tell you something. Don't ever do that, especially on an interview. Don't do that. I was like, yeah, okay. But little do you know, you probably will never see me again. So it really don't matter. This is the first and the last interview because Brandon Cordell Chuck Brown is worth more than $9.50 an hour, baby. You know. But you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, you go through these hard times and you trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, like, God has it. God has it under control. And certain things that he does within our lives, he does certain things in order to have us aware of how much he has us. A lot of times you got to pay attention to the signs. And I think that that's the problem that we have, is like we look for answers, but the answers are right in front of you through the signs that he gives you. You know, so there's been so many times within my life that he's answered, but I went my own way anyway. Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, like at the end of the day, he was like, I told you in the first place what to do. You just didn't listen. You weren't paying enough attention. Was it really worth going to Concord, driving all the way to Concord, and just because you had one offer, then you go to Concord, you're wasting gas all the way in the woods, you're all the way in the wilderness.
I mean, woods.
No buildings, no.
I was like, where in the world?
They had I was lost and I had to call Judy for my map quest.
Lost.
And look, they had a doggone horse going through some barbed wire in order to eat some grass. I've never seen nothing like that in my life. But you got to understand, like, God gives you so many warnings and so many signs of what not to do. If you have it within, Mama used to always tell me, go with your instinct. And if it's not within your instinct, it ain't nothing that God told you to do in the first place. Because he puts that instinct, he puts some type of instinct in you. He puts some type of feeling in you to do it or not to do it. And if you do it, then that's on you. Correct what you did or correct what you did with him, because he told you in the first place not to do it.
Not to do it. Well, I tell you the truth, I was already like, nope, that's not going to happen. And I guess, you know, I kept telling him, I said, you know, I know why God put us together. One of the reasons God put us together is because I have been through, you know, hard times. I have been through a lot of hard times. I didn't start off that way. I'm not saying I was born with a silver spoon. I wasn't. But we were given...
I was. Go ahead. I was.
What you talking about,
I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
No, you weren't.
I'm like Ric Flair. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Anyway, but we were born with a certain attitude and a certain lifestyle and different things like that. And when I hit my bump in life, I was like, what in the world? I don't even know what you people are talking about. What are you talking about? I had no idea how to be poor at all. I had no idea how to be poor. Had to learn. And that's what I did. I learned. And so now it's like, oh, you lost your job? Okay, well, you know, we're just going to not eat that, or we're not going to go there, or we're going to cut this or cut that. Let's see what we can cut. I instantly start looking at that budget. I'm not going to judge you negatively because you're going through a hard time. What was difficult was that, you know, his response and fasting and his mood changes and everything that was going on, that was difficult to watch and get up every day and be like, okay, I'm still here for you. I still love you. What's wrong? What's wrong? And then knowing that we're both people who love God, and we talked about this in the other video, when a person goes through something that may even cause them to have a crisis of faith, can you still be strong? Or are you going to start wavering all over the place because this person is wavering? And, you know, I was basically like, there were some things I had to rebuke. I was like, no, we didn't do things wrong because we got married. You could be married 10, 20 years and somebody still go through a crisis of faith. In fact, they usually happen later on. So I was like, no, we're good. We're good. I'm good. I'm not going anywhere. But I just had to stand there and stay there and through the fusses and through the arguments, just, we're in this thing together. Don't you dare go off to your mother's house, because I'll come over there with a frying pan and when you back home. You belong here. We're going to work through this thing together. And we'll go through this hard time together. That's what it means, for better or for worse, richer or for poorer. We got to stop saying these words and yet not mean them. Just really not mean them.
Well, a lot of people get caught up in the world. I was looking at Marcus D. Wiley yesterday, and he was talking about, make sure that man gets you a ring. And I was like, in North Carolina, you ain't got to have no ring. You just take them to the courthouse and, get that certificate, get you a preacher and 2 witnesses, and get married. So, when you say, it depends. If you say for better or for worse, around 1,000 people, in my opinion, compared to if you say for better or worse to each other. Just because I say I'm going to my mama's house don't mean I'm going to stay at my mama's house. Because first of all, my mama will probably kick me out like an hour or 2 hours later.
Thank you.
And I know that Judy's going to keep calling and
I'm come
calling
over there.
and come over there.
I got my own car.
Or whatever.
Come over there.
So, a lot of times I'd say that, but then I'd suffer the consequences after saying that.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of try to figure out how to avoid that by saying I'm not going to my mama's house. But then I say I'm not going to my mama's house. I try to get, I was trying to get your attention, and it still got worse than what it was.
Because I have a personal pet peeve about being told I'm going to be left. I do. I'm not going to lie. I have a personal thing about that. He's learning that's a little sensitive, sore spot, and
very sensitive.
Yeah, very sensitive and sore.
Well, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something in front of
asking me something? No.
Facebook. No,
I got my little neck roll. Go ahead.
Yeah, in front of you, your neck it's underneath. But do you think I really what could I get out of being at my mama's house?
I don't know.
Do you think I'd be able to be over here with my shirt off and be able to talk to you, huh?
She wouldn't let you do that.
Exactly. She'd probably have a fit. So we wouldn't be on live. But a lot of times we go through hard times and we try to find ways to run and not fight through those hard, difficult times, because in our eyes it's hard, but we don't realize at that time, because it's so instant. And we go instant off our instinct. We don't realize that, God makes it easier through those hard times. So when we look at the physical, God is talking to us spiritually.
Spiritual.
I could look at all the stuff that I'm going through, period. Like you couldn't even imagine what we're going through, because when I'm going through, she's going through. Just like when she's going through, I'm going through. So all the things that we're going through together as a unit, and God's just saying, we got you. I got you. Don't worry about it. What's that saying that people say?
Lean on me?
No, not lean on me. Hold on. Stay woke. Right. Stay woke. Stay woke. And all that stuff. But God is saying, you're aware. I'm aware as you woke.
Stay aware.
Yeah, stay aware and stay woke, but I'm aware. Stay woke while I'm aware. Which means that, while you're sitting there and you're looking at things, you're looking at your circumstances through.
We did a show about circumstances.
You're looking at your circumstances. He's aware of your circumstances. So you're woke to your circumstances because you're alert. You're sitting there, you're looking at what's going on over here, what's going on over there.
What's got
to be paid, all of that. And God is saying, listen, I'm aware of what's got to be paid. I'm aware of where you're at within your life. I'm aware of what's going on in the household. I'm aware of that. You just stay woke and be prepared for the next step that I'm going to put you through and bring you through.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the problem is that when we take it upon ourselves, and I see it every day on social media, and I just get so ticked off. I get so pissed, I swear, because the thing about it is people get caught up in spirits, and I know we're getting off track, but people are getting caught up in, people get caught up in these spirits on social media of these stupid, ignorant people that's trying to get people to sit there and comment on the dumbest things they say.
Can I tell them about one thing I saw the other day? And I was just like, you know what, we need to stop. The person said, how did it go? I think I told you about it. I was praying and God said, pray for your haters because if they're mad now, they're going to be suicidal by the time I finish elevating you. I said, what kind of nonsense?
God don't like suicide.
First of all, the Bible I read said, he is not willing that any should perish, but all should come to a knowledge of God. And so, if you're going to pray for your haters, you should be praying for their salvation. You should not be praying that they're going to be suicidal. God would never say anything so crazy in my... I was just like, and you know, the people like it and love it, and I'm like, do you not even know your word? Do you not understand that you're more interested in your prideful to see the downfall of the people who hate you as opposed to pray for their salvation? How did we get to the point that we could even say God said?
Well,
some stupid nonsense like that. Yes, it is. Social stupid media, stupid memes. These things, you have got to watch what you're reading and what you're agreeing to.
And that's another thing. Like I get, and you know, I get frustrated at that because, you know, even though you're with me, like, and you're supportive, you're so supportive, but it's like, you know, I feel like I'm fighting on my own and going through the struggle of fighting on my own, and this has something to do with you and the marriage and the issues that we've had, because you're affected by what I go through when I go through. So when I see so many people that's, you know, drawn away from God and you know, just sitting there and they partying and drinking, which nothing is wrong. We drink too, but you know, they partying and it's everything outside of God.
Outside of God.
You know what I'm saying? Doing everything outside of God. And people are just learning, they're just, you know, with it. You know, they're just with it. And it's like, God, I'm trying to do this for you. Like, I'm doing this for you. You know, we in this together. Come on now. And it's like 400 over there, but it's 10 over here. Which I understand at the end of the day is like, you know, it's going to go through. But I'm like, these people are not aware. And it's like I'm just fighting through the storm. And so you being my support system, but I expect you to go a lot harder, you know, just being my support system and knowing the frustration. You know, it's like when Tully Blanchard, I talk about wrestling all the time. When Tully Blanchard was with Baby Doll, and Tully Blanchard would always get in trouble with Dusty Rhodes, and they'd just be going through it together. It was like Baby Doll always stepped in the ring and tried to find a way to distract Dusty Rhodes to where Tully Blanchard could take advantage of Dusty Rhodes and get the 1, 2, 3 count. But it wasn't nothing like Paul Heyman back in those days just sitting on the side, just screaming, yelling, and hollering while Brock Lesnar is getting his butt kicked.
Oh, okay.
Where am I going with this?
No, I got you. I got you. I just don't remember the names, but go ahead.
Brock Lesnar is getting his butt kicked, you know, and you know, getting through it, and Paul Heyman, like a little woman, he ain't stepping in the ring, because Jim Cornette is stepping in the ring, but he not stepping in the ring. He not distracting the referee. He not doing none of that. He's expecting Brock Lesnar to do it on his own, and I think that's a part of the frustration of the fasting, of everything that I'm going through. It's like right now nothing has worked for me. You see what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's why I had to come in and say, okay, yes, your example of, oh, distracted this and do that, but what you were asking, I said, there's not much more I can give. And what we're fighting against is certainly not each other, but we're fighting against the fact that, but God has told us, not many are going to be on the road. And I think what you sometimes look for is worldly acceptance for a spiritual goal. You know, and I get that. I get that. You want to be successful in this world. We want to have some worldly accolades as well as success, especially if you just want to be able to take care of our families, you know, and different things like that. But the thing that I have to tell myself on a regular basis is that the world is very seductive. The world has a lot of things that keep people wrapped up in what the world is doing, and so that they don't pay attention to God. Or there are people who are so churchy and religious that they don't understand what it is you're doing, because you're outside of a church. Oh, you're in a bar. Oh, you people are allowed to drink. There's all these things that stop them from seeing. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that. From seeing what it is that you're doing. So, you know, as so many people have told us, both, especially you, keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing has not been done. What you're doing is totally different. And so you're going to run into different people who have different opposition for different reasons. And so, you know, we can just keep going, keep putting the CLE out there, the Christian Lounge Experience, keep putting out our events that support, you know, single parents, or just support singles, period. Singles mixed with married couples. That's not heard of and done on a regular basis, because we want to keep everybody separate, and yet not understanding how a newly married person, they probably feel more single than married yet. And then anybody who's been married for any length of time, I need for you to speak up and help every single out there, because we're out here sometimes, or we used to be out here wandering around like, what in the world are we doing? And like what we're doing now as a married couple is talking to singles and saying, look, when you first get married and he goes off the deep end, you're going to need to find your knees and your Bible, because you can't just walk off and leave, or feel like you should leave, because, you know, it's not even 6 months and the person is going through a hard time.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about it. Because if we can go through what we're going through now, then we can go through what we're going through.
We can make it 20.
We can handle anything
else, and that's what we want.
Because, you know, a lot of times marriages start off good. It's a challenge, but it start off real good for the first 5 years or whatever. But when you get stuck through financial issues and things like that, you find out how to pull through. I remember my mama had a painting on the wall, because my mama loves art, right? And it was this woman and this man. They looked about 100 and 200 years old, right? But the woman and the man were sitting together, and they were counting pennies on the table, on the kitchen table. Yeah. And I don't know what she did with that picture, because it was right there when you first walk into the house. And you could see it. And
you gotta ask her about it. That sounds deep.
Yeah. And the woman and the man were sitting at the table. The husband and the wife were sitting at the table together. Because she had another painting that was real deep, with the woman just standing over a banister and looking at her hands, and her hands were just so ripped up and jacked up. She was an old woman just saying how hard she worked. But this one was very deep, because it was a married couple counting pennies at the table.
At the kitchen table.
Just trying to figure out how much they were going to put into that bill.
and how much they had together. And that's what's so important. That is what's so important when you go through hard times, is what do we have together? You know, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? And if one person is feeling weak and can't feel like they're bringing anything, because I mean, you know, he's like, okay, I'm newly married, and all of a sudden, you know, I've lost the ability to contribute to certain things. And I'm like, but your presence, you know what I'm saying? Put in your guidance, and the fact that as the head of the house, that's your role. Okay, ladies, and I'm going to say this because it just popped into my head. Please do not make a man feel like he lost his role because he lost his job. He is still king, head of the household, spiritual leader. I'm talking to you. Do not do that. Do not make a person feel as if their financial contribution creates their role. The roles are created by God. Okay? They're created by God, and don't mess with them. Leave them the way they are.
But you got to understand, you got to look at people who are affected by corporate America.
You know I don't care.
Yeah.
But I mean, literally.
You know, corporate America, I got this job, and,
yeah, I know.
You know, I'm working under the, you know, under doctor this or what corporate America.
Yeah, just any of that kind of prideful nonsense.
Corporate America.
Any kind of that prideful nonsense.
So
okay, prideful nonsense.
Yeah, so
because literally
then they're around all of their friends, and their friends got this and showing off their rings and, you know, stuff like that. All these people still listening now. They just ain't trying. You ain't got to worry about that. See, we get caught up in the fact.
I like to look.
Yeah, but you know,
because you can, you know, I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about that.
Get caught up in corporate America, and they're looking at, you know, people talking about my husband.
If you don't learn,
and they the most miserable people in the world. Mm-hmm. You know, they bragging about their husband, but coming home treating their husband like trash.
See how long they last, because I've known some very high-end PhDs and deans and everything else whose marriage is no longer there. I'm not mentioning any names.
But I'm just saying they're bragging.
So I'm just
what
saying.
I'm saying is, listen to what I'm saying. That those same women are going to the jobs, right? And they're bragging to other women and bragging about, like y'all say, they like to be competitive amongst each other. So they're bragging on how much they do for their husband, and oh, I just love my husband this, my husband that, my husband. And then next thing you know, one of their co-workers talk to their husband, and their husband be like, I don't know no such thing about what you talking about. Last time I heard, I was sleeping in the car.
What, you so crazy.
You know, me and the kids sleeping in the car.
Oh, you just is nutty.
I'm telling you now.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm telling you.
Do not change the role because of the person's job loss, change, demotion, promotion. Okay, don't all of a sudden put somebody in a higher position because they got a better position at work. No, you are husband. You are leader. That does not change their God-given role. And so when you get that through your mind, that already alleviates so much nonsense, because you're not going to start looking at that person any differently because they don't have a position or they don't have a job or they, whatever. If you are literally gauging people's importance and value still based on a job, you've got a lot of growing to do.
And I think it's all about whether you support each other's vision, because I think both people shouldn't be happy with just going to work and coming home every day.
Well, I mean, different strokes for different folks as far as whether some people like to work for other people. I mean, I've got a cousin who's a dentist. He's working for himself in a way, but, I wouldn't want to be a dentist's wife, to be honest with you, because all those patients would drive me crazy. So, I mean, I understand the different things, but I'm just saying,
support each other's vision.
Right. If he should suddenly not be able to work as a dentist and had to go work as a truck driver,
Yeah.
Let's
Be
not,
supportive.
thank you, let's not turn around and act like he's less of a human being, less valuable to you through God because of that. And I think we still have people who do that. I saw someone else write today about, the person was being honest. They said, look, you may go through something. Oh, no, but God is always going to, better and abound it. You don't know what God has planned for you. Let's just be real. Why are you scratching the top of your head? You don't know what God has planned for you. You do not know. You pray that it is always things that doesn't take you through a hard time, but you do not know. I did not know. I was in corner offices and having a ball when my health changed more than 15 years ago. Okay? I was in corner offices being asked, can you travel? We got radio shows to be on. I'll make sure. In fact, one job, the lady was like, if you move into the city, I'll pay you enough that you can send your kids to private school so you won't have to worry about anything. Those are the kind of jobs I had. And it was all gone. Just gone one day. Just like, I'm sorry. All that money you got real comfortable with, poof, gone. And so then it was a question of, well, now what do I do? And one of the biggest things that I learned from that experience is, I'm not what I do. I'm not what my bank account says. I'm not, I don't ascribe a value to my life because there's a certain number of zeros in a bank account. I'm still important to God. He still sent Jesus Christ to die for my sins. I still have value. And so I don't have to walk, people say, don't walk around with a poor mentality, poor person's mentality. I don't walk around with a rich person's mentality. I walk around with a God-given mentality, okay, that I have value to him. Because, in fact, the Bible says, woe to the rich people. You already got your consolation. You ain't got nothing saved up there if all your money is down here. So as far as the Bible's concerned, rich people are really bad off. So I don't walk around with either person's mentality. I walk around with a God. Who am I in God? Not who am I in Bankers Trust or who I am in Wells Fargo. Really, I've been to the level where people walked over and gave you the special pen just to sign your check. And then I've been to the point where I'm standing there going, okay, I owe this bank money. I've been both places. But who Judy is does not change. And who you are does not change in my mind because you had one job where you were a supervisor and now you're being offered some $9.50. You're still the same. And you still have a goal and dream we're trying to get to. Period.
I'm going to get that. That way, every job I pass him off as much information as I can.
Which is so crazy. He does, and I don't even stop him because literally, this is who he is. This is who God created him to be, which is this person who wants to create things that have never been there before, events that have never been there before. You're going to break that finger. That finger hurts. But that's who he is. And it won't matter if he takes that $9.50 job or he takes some other job or if he takes no job.
Not to take it.
I told him not to take it. You're not going to drive no 40 minutes to an hour to Concord for $9.50 an hour. Half of that in gas and lunch and clothes. No, forget it. That's the dumbest thing on the planet. And if anybody says anything, including unemployment, I would tell them he is a family of 5. $9.50 won't do it. It won't do it. So, I don't have a problem telling that to everybody. But anyway, we're not going to stay on here and belabor the point. Getting to know each other through hard times. Keep God in the mix.
Now, for those, let me just destroy the devil. For those psychological people who sitting there and want to question everything that we just said, be welcomed. Because it's 10 more days before my birthday party.
Commercial interruption, guys.
And I really am waiting on the dumb questions you have, especially upon certain people of questioning our marriage and questioning everything else. I expect you to see it be at my birthday party, August 27th, Sunday, at the Conversation Piece, 846 Union Street South, Concord, North Carolina, 28025. Jaren, I saw you on here. Nikki, I saw you on here. Letitia, if you ain't in Connecticut, I saw you on here. Brian, Marcus Brockington, I see you on here. Kim, you in New York. Brianna, you way up there in Florence. Bree Brown. Cassandra, which is my Aunt Annie Mae's granddaughter, my daddy's oldest, not the oldest sister, but the oldest sister, granddaughter right here. With that, she didn't even know we were married, and that's my daddy's sister, granddaughter. But anyway, like I said, Shay Morton, I know you're gonna show love, so I ain't thinking about that. Corey Colson, Wuju, CeeLo, I see you. James, you better show up, Big Mo. Who
so
else?
Crazy.
Tanya Chester, New Beginners Community Church, I see you. You better show up, or I'm coming to your house. I'm coming to your church, and I'm going to call you out right in front of your pastor. I'm going to grab a microphone from him, and I'm going to call you and Jeffrey out. Jeffrey Chester.
Crazy.
TJ, you in Atlanta. I ain't going to hold it against you, but I know you'll show me love. Come from Atlanta, boy. That's Turk. TJ. Lanice Brown, my cousin, all the way from Flowtown. I see you. Oh yeah, I'm giving my birthday a plug in.
Yeah, everybody be going through.
Just K.
Blinking?
I see you. What?
You see
Just K. I see you. Oh, you know what? The time on now. You notice that?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's on yours, but it's blinking like it's trying to say something. That's why I'm like, okay, are they?
Kurt Gowdy.
Are they gonna?
We ain't gonna have no security guards, but don't you know? Because he'll come through with all types of pistols and stuff like that.
You know what's so funny?
Joy Abraham, I see you. Joy started the Single Saving Series. That was the first one that I started it with the round table. And she walked out on me. I ain't never heard from her again. She just chimed out, yep, I'm going to call out every chance I get.
It's saying something.
What is it saying?
I don't know. It's saying something. I'm not trying to interrupt. Goodness gracious, I keep hitting to something until something is up. I think it's going to stop on us.
Well, let's keep going until it stops.
You know, yeah, we got 2 minutes and 40 seconds, 40 some odd seconds. We're going to see what they're going to do. Because it showed up on mine as well. I keep hitting the tripod. Didn't mean to do that, everybody.
Oh, I think that's fine.
No, because we used to do more than an hour. We used to do more than an hour. So, but anyway, everybody.
No, let them cut us off. Let them cut us off.
I'm talking to the people.
Go ahead.
About your birthday. Yes, please come on out to the birthday. We're going to have a great time. There will be a little bit of dancing in there. Aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to dance.
We're going to dance.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a good time. It's going to be fly time. You know he's going to be talking just so much junk. What does it say? Jesus, I missed it again. It goes by too fast. Till end of the live video. That's what it says. So we're going to talk until it turns us off, but we'll try to get in our saying before we leave. But anyway, the party is on the 27th. Please come out. Wear some dancing shoes. Wear some great clothes. Let's have a good time.
You sound like a grandmama. You sound like a 80-year-old woman. Wear some dancing shoes.
Wear some doggone dancing shoes.
Wear some dancing shoes. What does it look like, Dancing with the Stars or something?
No, they know what I mean. They mean wear something.
Some dancing shoes.
Wear something you can dance in. Don't come in them. You know how I feel about them doggone stilettos anyway. So, you know.
They're going to have to take off their stilettos and dance. That's just all it is.
Thank you. Take them off. Have a good time. Yeah, let's have a good time and dance and, you know, just celebrate his birthday. I don't know. We're going to have cake. We're going to have cake.
That's up to you.
I don't know if we're going to have cake. But we're going to have something. And everybody just come out, have a good time, wish him well. Yes, it's $20 to get in, but that's because we have Grandmaster D coming, flying in, or driving in, one or the other. And we need to be able to make sure he can get here and home. And, of course, you know, fly tie on air, plus the buffet is going to have seafood, I think, this time. Going to have the crab legs in there. So we just need you guys.
So old, you know that? You know how old you sound?
Do you hear him?
You sound like an old great grandma.
Do you hear what he
Oh,
said?
yeah, we just got to go ahead, keep going.
Never mind.
You sound like a now.
Never mind. We're
Look
about to
at
be
she
cut
gonna whip
off
my
anyway.
tail anyway.
Yeah, that's okay. Stop trying to lick my face. Anyway.
You sound 90 years old.
Bye.
We're going to have flight
We love
high.
you.